Welcome to SoundBites From Home, a visual podcast featuring students and faculty from the Department of Performing Arts at American University. I'm your host, Andrew Brown, and today's guest is Sanae Kodaira, a cellist and first-year arts management student at American University. So, Sanae, welcome to SoundBites From Home. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So, can you talk a little bit about your experiences being both a cellist and an arts management student?
Sure. It's a little hard to draw the line between like being an artist and an arts manager, but I think it really informs my work as an arts manager. I've been in the performance arts world for many years, 16, 17 years now. So yeah, I have seen it from the inside. So it gives me a better idea in context of what I can do as an arts manager, and the organizations that I've been a part of, and also in the future. Or, yeah. I went into my undergrad degree already knowing that I wanted to do something else besides playing cello. I was always interested in academics. I thought about studying political science or psychology. And then I decided, okay, if I'm going to be a cellist, it just has to be cello for 4 years, and if I can make it, then that's great. So as I was going through those 4 years, I realized that performance is great, but it's not what I wanted to do. It didn't fulfill me in the way that it did to my colleagues. I knew I wanted to have an impact that was broader in a way, not just performing for an audience, but what can I do with music and arts in general to have a bigger impact on society and communities. So working with a community engagement office, that definitely sparked that side of me a little bit in the beginning. Being able to just engage with different people and have that human connection that's more direct, not just I'm here to play for you and you're gonna listen to me, but more like let me listen to you. What do you need and how can we work together?
So, what is it you love about the arts management program so far at AU? What have you really enjoyed so far out of it?
I like learning, honestly. Like I mentioned before, 4 years in the conservatory, the education that I was getting was mostly just performance based. And the AU program is just everything that I'm learning. I feel like I can apply to what I'm doing, which is great. I didn't feel that way before. So it's a good change. The arts education class we had together actually is my favorite. I can see myself working for arts education in the future, advocating for it. So all the readings, I mean, the faculty is just great. Like they want to be there, they want to teach, and they want you to learn, and they want to work with you. And I think that is really inspiring for a student. You can really feel that they're there for you if you need them, which is something great. when I was in my undergrad, someone told me that to be an arts manager, you didn't need education for it, right? That was the narrative that was going around in the, in that setting. And now I'm like, definitely not true. You need to know things. Like, there's so many things you need to know. And I mean, I still have a lot to learn. I had a very linear idea of what arts management was. And now I can see all the different layers that go into it that you can be a part of, right? And the arts education system, which is, I think, what I want to be doing and after I graduate. I mean, everything that I've learned until now, everything about advocacy, equity, the different layers of the government that that have a say into like what's being taught in schools and why. All those things are really going to influence the way I work as an arts manager. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to advocate for the communities to have the power to teach their culture, their art, or their culture through the art. So yeah, I think everything that I'm learning will definitely, I'm going to take it with me.
So if you like met a student, in this Juilliard trained environment who's really believing that, arts management either isn't important or arts management, or I want to do arts management, but I don't know how, what would you recommend for them? What would you tell them?
I would tell them that, they should explore and really explore. By that, I mean, don't feel like because you're a musician, you have to follow one path. Because that was such a big issue for me. Everyone was saying, I'm going to get an orchestra job, or I'm going to do this and do that. And it always seemed like there was this one straight path. And I think as artists, especially nowadays, we need to be looking this way, just, and with COVID too, like people have to innovate. They need to find new things. They need to find what makes them passionate. Like I would tell them not to be afraid to try something new just because you feel like the other, your colleagues might think that you're not as legit as a musician because you're doing contemporary works, or because you want to be doing arrangements of pop music, or you want to be an arts manager, right? I think there's definitely a narrative there within the performing arts, some of them communities that arts administrators end up being administrators because they couldn't make it as performers. And I mean, that's a total lie. Like, yeah, it might be the case for a few people, but I think that drives away people from actually trying to be wanting to be an arts manager, because they think, oh, if I take that path, then people are going to think I'm not an accomplished performer. But honestly, if I encountered someone who was in my position back then, I would just tell them, who cares? Do whatever makes you happy. It like, for real. Like, and arts management just like opens so many doors. Like you were saying, there's so many things you can do, like fundraising. You can do a lot of things within that degree, and like, go for it. If that makes you happy, don't be an unhappy person in an orchestra job that you don't like. You can be a performer, and you can also do other things that make you happy.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really do appreciate it.
No, of course. Thank you for asking me.